if there is one thing that I know how to do well, it's scaling info. And this video is going to be a bit of a rant about things that no one really tells you when it comes to scaling info that are detrimental, that are really, really important. I don't want to have a really long intro, so I'm going to get right into it. If you guys stick around to the end, I promise you're going to learn something, and you're going to learn something that no one really talks about. And if you actually implement it, it's going to make you a lot of money. If you have that attention span, I don't like put crazy edits on these or anything. So let's get into it. The first thing is you need a unique angle. I kid you not, guys, for every single one of my clients that we onboard, we do one thing. It's make a unique angle. Guys, look at every single one of my thumbnails and titles on YouTube. It always practically says 76K 16. Why? That's my unique angle. That's what makes people click. That's what makes people resonate with it. That's what is, like, quite frankly, impressive. So for every single client we onboard, we come up with a different unique angle, right? We have one client, Arthur. He's done for you. We just signed him on. He makes $15,000 a month with appointment setting. So what do? We call him. That's like, for anyone who doesn't know, $15,000 a month as an appointment setter is insane. Most setters on the high end make like $5K a month. So he's making $10,000 more than the average setter, or not even the average, the top end setter per month. So in every single piece of content we make, we're always using the same angle. We're always abusing that angle of, I make $15,000 per month with setting. I make $15,783.48 per month with setting. Specific numbers are more believable. That's a fun fact. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to kind of illustrate here for you guys is that you need to have a unique angle. And, there's millions of ways you can do it. You can use the amount of money you make, right? Ryan Clogg, he's been doing well on YouTube. What does he do? He says he makes 70 million. We got Miguel. He's one of my clients. He was just an appointment setter coach before. He was just a regular appointment setting coach. And how did we build a unique angle for him? It was pretty simple, actually. We literally just started changing who he targets to be South Americans. I'm turning up this light, by the way, so you guys can see me better. But we just started targeting South Americans. Why? Because he was a South American, and there's no competition in South America, and the market's big. And depending on where you target, right? You got Chile, you got Botoga, you got like Buenos Aires, you got all these places where they're actually pretty financially qualified leads there. And they resonate with him and trust him way more because he's South American. So now all our ads we run to South American. We made him like the guy who helps South Americans make money. Builds way more trust, and it's just way more scalable. So come up with a unique angle, whether it's the country you're from and the only country you work with, your age, the amount of money you've made, can be literally anything, just something that's unique. And then you want to build off of that, right? You want to build your marketing around that, right? So in all the ads with Arthur, who's the guy making 15K a month with setting, we mentioned that he makes 15K a month with setting. Another client, his name is Matan. He's from Australia, actually. He made 30 grand in his first month with high ticket sales. So what do? In every ad we mentioned $30,000 in my first month of high ticket sales, because that's unheard of, right? Who makes 30 grand in their first month of sales when he hadn't had any high ticket sales experience before? So that's his unique angle. So every single person needs a unique angle, and then you can build your marketing around that idea. Because why would you make the same ads? Like, everyone's like, yo, look at your competitors and see what's working. Bro, why would you copy what they're doing, right? Why wouldn't you just do something unique and get everyone's eyeballs on you? That's the best strategy, okay? Now I want to talk about actual ads for info, because believe it or not, the info market is really small. And I'm going to actually pull up a whiteboard here to illustrate this for you guys. But the info market is way smaller than you actually think it is, which isn't a bad thing. But what I see a lot of people do is they see their ads actually die. So their ads die and they get bad leads. How does this happen, right? Let me break that down for you guys. Okay, so why do ads actually die? Now, there are two ways ads die in terms of lead quality. The first reason is if you're running Advantage Plus, right? So if you're running Advantage Plus, what will happen is that it optimizes to get the cheapest lead. So if it optimizes to get the cheapest lead, then if it can find people like, old people or the opposite gender, it will. So we had a client, she was a fitness coach for women, and we were running ads on Advantage Plus, once again, targeting women. And when we look at the statistics on the analytics on that ad, 95% were males. So if 95% of people were males, we know that Advantage Plus found cheaper results showing it to males, because obviously I'm sure you can come to the conclusion as to why that might be. So what do? We had to transition from Advantage Plus targeting to manual targeting, where we actually started showing the ads to strictly women, because before we had it on Advantage Plus, Advantage Plus is usually good. But when it happens like this, where you get bad leads, let's say, we have some clients where they get grannies or grandpas, like super old people, and it's like, bro, what? Like, it's because for some reason those people resonated with the ad enough to get cheap results that Advantage Plus viewed them as the qualified leads. So you want to run manual if that happens. Now, the other option is that I want you to imagine that this circle right here is an info space. And so what happens is, when you make a new ad attacking the info space, it can actually take over the entire info space pretty quickly, which means that what's called your frequency will hike up. That means that the same kind of group of people are starting to see the ad multiple times. You know, when you see an ad so many times and it just starts to annoy you. Now, that means that the ad will stop getting traction because it's just annoying to the rest of the people that aren't clicking, and the more they see it, the more they get annoyed. So instead of running ads at high frequencies, what you want to do is you want to attack the info market from a different angle, because this angle already kind of like, it already doesn't work anymore. You already hit too many people with this angle, so you have to broaden out, right? So let's say that, for example, this is now like the broad market with all the unqualified leads. Once that one ad has hit the info market enough, it has to start hitting the broad market because the frequency here is too high. That's where all the bad leads come from. So your whole objective is to get this small bubble and just attack the small bubble as many times as possible from as many different angles as possible. And when you do that, you will win. So that's the other strategy when it comes to actually scaling info that I would suggest. And then finally, and this is especially important if you're running B2B, for B2C, it's still really important, but you want to be everywhere. Guys, you want to spend as much money as possible and you want to be in as many places as possible. Why? Because you want to be top of mind. There's a reason why brands will pay millions of dollars for their ads to be on the Super Bowl, right? They want to be seen everywhere. They want their brand logo to be everywhere so that when you have basically a pain threshold and you want to make a decision, crap, I need to buy a new car. If they're top of mind, then they're going to buy. There was this example. Bro, for example, I needed to get like takeaway food yesterday. I didn't end up doing it. I just ended up cooking eggs because it was the healthier option. But I literally saw someone walking with a KFC bag and I had myself literally like adding KFC to the DoorDash order, which I would never do normally. But because I saw that logo, that's kind of like when I had the pain threshold, I need to eat something and I'm busy. That's what first came to mind, because I saw that logo. Like, it's insane. And so with personal branding, the logo is your face. So you want people to see your face around. So what this means is that in your actual content and in your ads, you want to be everywhere. You want to be making content that's getting views. You want to be hitting them from all these different angles on ads. You want to be spending a lot of money on ads too. And that is like the most important part. As soon as we started spending a lot more money on ads and we started being everywhere on my business partner's personal brand, that was when we were able to crush it. So if you want to learn the strategies, the tactics, everything like that I'm using to scale my personal brand, like in this info space, but more importantly, aside from personal branding, how I actually make $76,000 a month at 16 years old, then just subscribe to me. I make daily videos. Once again, see you in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.